In the past, I've pointed out that being sexually attracted to lollies is basically pedophilia because they're animated to look like children, and being attracted to children is pedophilia. But despite this, fans of lolly porn are still insistent that since they're not real, then it's not actually pedophilia, even though it's still animated to be the body of a child. So whether it's real or not, it's still animated to be a body of a child, and if you're, sexually interested in children, specifically their bodies, then yeah, you're a pedophile. But I've noticed a common retort from these supposedly not pedophiles, basically saying, if lollies are pedophilia, then what about furries? Now, let's ignore the fact that this is commonly used to derail the conversation, and doesn't really have anything to do with the conversation at hand because we're not talking about furries, we're talking about lollies. The questions still remain. What about furries? Specifically the ones that are sexually attracted to furries. And I want to point out something very quick. Being a furry isn't inherently sexual. Sure, you could be a furry and you want to sexualize furries, but at the end of the day, that's not a thing you have to do to be a furry. In order to be a furry, you have to like anthropomorphic animals. Not in a sexual way, just like them. So to make it clear, in this video, we're talking about the sexual attraction to furries. That is not applied to every furry. Is that bestiality? Although to some this is obvious, furries are in fact not animals. Yes, they share characteristics with animals, but you know who else shares characteristics with animals? Humans! See, the thing with humans is they're very much similar to apes. That's mostly because we evolved from them, but at the end of the day, you can't call an ape a human, and you wouldn't call a human an ape. They are different species. Let's use dogs as an example, since they happen to be the most common type of furry out there. Dogs are not very similar to furry dogs. Furries, at least the fictional concept of them, not the real people in the costumes and all that stuff, are more so like if a dog evolved into a human-like creature, similar to how apes evolved into humans. At the end of the day, furries and the animals they're based on are very much different species. Oh, but Deviant Crow, if lollies are pedophilia for having characteristics that are the same with children, then obviously the little characteristics that furries have to animals makes them bestiality, by your logic. But yet again, we go back to apes. Not everyone who's sexually attracted to humans is sexually attracted to apes. Even if apes and humans are quite similar, they're still not the same thing, and there's enough differences there to make it where someone wouldn't want to be attracted to both. And sure, there are sick bastards out there that would want to fuck apes, but at the end of the day, furries share more qualities with humans than apes at the end of the day, too. Now, there's a possibility I might get a sick bastard or two in the comments going like, actually, animals can consent. No, they fucking can't. Animals do not have the same intellectual ability or intellectual responsibility as humans. Therefore, they cannot consent to sex with humans. Furries, on the other hand, or on the other paw if you want to be quirky and punchable, share the same intellectual abilities as humans. Therefore, they can consent. This, however, is very different when it comes to, children. Sure, children aren't animals, but they lack the intellectual responsibility to consent with adults. And I know, just like with bestiality, some dumb fuck is gonna come and say, well, actually, they can't. No, they can't. Please, go to jail. Go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to fucking jail. Stay there. And yeah, there's one less argument, one shitty retort we have to put on less. My lolly is fictional, and I deem that it can consent. What's the difference there, bucko? Well, before I explode into a million pieces, I better make sure to advertise something. Today, I'm advertising my Ko-Fi. My Ko-Fi is the easiest way to donate money to me. It also makes it where you don't have to deal with, subscriptions and all of that. It's also the quickest way to give me money, because Ko-Fi gives me money just like that, like minutes after you donate. Although I do like it when people donate to my Patreon or buy some of my merch, I also want to note that this option is for people that you just don't want to deal with that stuff. So if you want to make a quick and easy donation, rather small or big, come to my Ko-Fi in the description below. Now, I've already explained how furries aren't animals, but still, some could argue that some lollies aren't adults. But at the end of the day, I still believe that lollies are in fact pedophilia. So what's the difference? Furries don't have the same body type as animals. Meanwhile, most lollies have the same body type as children who can't consent. Not only do furries not have the same body proportions as animals, but they can also consent, and they're more so like humans, like I explained earlier with my chimp comparison. Oh, Deviant Crow, you dumb bitch! You should set me up for a curveball. What about monkey furries in adults that kind of look like children? In those cases, it really depends on why you're sexually attracted to them, which, yeah, in those gray areas, it can be hard to tell. With monkey furries, it's, do you like furries, or do you want to go to jail? And similarly with young-looking adults, do you want to, do you just find this person normally attractive, or do you find this person only attractive because they look like a minor? In that case, do you want to go to jail? Those two are gray cases, but it doesn't stop the fact that most lollies look like children, and even the lollies that don't look like children are at least have the same age as minors. And no, I'm not going to shame someone for not knowing the canonical age of a character like as seen on screen. Like, what's a safer word way of saying masturbation? I would say masturbating would be, but it's still not good enough. Making bread? Yeah, making bread. If you're making bread to a character like this one, that's canonically a minor, and you didn't know it was canonically a minor, that's not your fault. That's some person from Japan's fault for being a massive fucking pervert. Of course, if you do know the canonical age of a character like this, then you have no excuse. You shouldn't be making bread to a character like this. Like, there really is no excuse for making bread to lollies. There's no excuse. There's plenty of things you can make bread to out there. You don't need to make bread to children. If you do so otherwise, maybe contact a therapist. Get the help you need to become a better person. You don't have to go to jail. You could just get a therapist to help you out. You just gotta be honest about it. If you want to change, then you're not a terrible person. You're on the path to becoming a better person. And if you don't want to do that, then you could go to fucking jail! Also, a bit of an update. In a prior video about Twitter I made a while ago, I mentioned that Twitter has very little rules against pedophiles or lolly fans. Well, recently, some big changes have happened. That's right, Twitter has fixed their shit. Now, if only they could add a fucking edit button. Thank you for watching the video, and if you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, check out these links. If you want to tip me, you could go check out my Ko-Fi. If you want to vote for the next video, go to my Twitter. If you want to get some merch with my face on it, go to my merch store. And if you want to get to watch videos early while supporting the channel, go check out my Patreon. Also, the artist that made the OCs in this video is not me. It is Benny Bunny. So go check him out on Twitter. Also, feel free to come down to my Discord with the link down below. New videos are uploaded every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And don't forget to love yourself.